Hello again everybody, welcome to Aquablue 997.2. This is my channel dedicated to my Porsche 911. Today, as explained in a previous video of mine, we're going to be looking at installing a center silencer delete. This particular one is known as an X Pipe, made by Top Gear in the UK. This will give us a little bit more volume and hopefully not be overly loud, as this vehicle has already had the GUNDO modification done. I completed that myself a couple of weeks ago, and that was a good improvement on the stock sound, which I think everybody agrees is really disappointing on a car like this. So this video will go through the process of how to install it, a couple of tips, how to get the bumper off, which you need to do this modification. The bolts on this vehicle will be in good condition because, as I said, I did the GUNDO the other week and I replaced all of the bolts with stainless steel bolts. If you're doing this for the first time, you will encounter issues with the clamps and the bolts, the flange bolts on the original system. They have a tendency to corrode and they can be a bit of a pig to remove, but with a bit of persistence and some releasing fluid, they do come out okay. So there we go. So first things first, to do this we need to remove the rear lights and the rear bumper. So I'll talk you through how to do that next. Right, so the first thing you need to do to remove the bumper to get access to the center silencer is to remove the two rear lights. That's done by removing them two screws there in the picture. Gently pull it forward and release the electrical connection. Don't try and bend it outwards, as you may snap the corner of the light. So just be very gentle on them. Next, you need to remove the four screws we can see here that run along the top of the bumper. And then directly underneath, I'll try and get these in the video. Too sure where we've got them, but there's two screws that run underneath that lip there. Okay. And coming around to the side of the vehicle, once you've removed the rear lights, you'll find that there's another screw and a small plastic clip inside there. They need to be removed gently. And then moving underneath, there's screws under here, and then also inside the rear arch, there's two screws in there. Once that's done, the bumper should pull away gently, be very gentle, and you'll notice that I've put a few mats down on the ground there just so I don't scratch the bottom of the bumper when it comes away. It won't fall. You've got to gently just pull it towards you and it will come down. Inside the rear bumper, in between that and the car, there's another clip with the electrical connection for the rear number plate light, and there will also be, if you have parking sensors, another clip there. So to do that task, I've just got myself a little simple toolkit here. I've got myself a 1/2 inch socket set, a packet of screwdrivers with T-pieces, Torx, drivers, and a small 1/4 inch socket set. That's all you'll need to do this job. So I'll get on to removing this bumper and these lights now. So taking a look at the vehicle now, you can see that we've managed to remove the two rear lights and the majority of the screws. What I've done is, if we take a closer look, I've left two screws in just on the top, just as a precaution, in case the bumper fell off when I took a screw out of the bottom or something. There's not much chance of that happening because they're held in with these side retaining metal clips here. So what I'll do is, I'll take these final two screws out and then I'll pull the bumper forward and disconnect the electrical connection, and you'll see from there how it's done. So I'll just leave the video rolling now and we'll be able to see that happen. And there we have it, bumper removal. So the next process is to remove the rear heat shield. There's two 16mm bolts holding that in place. They're located just there and one on the other side. Once you remove them two bolts out of the top, that whole strip will just pull forward and give you full access to the rear end. So we'll do that bit next. Okay, so the rear heat shield has been removed. Now, to remove this centre silencer section, which is just that section there, we need to release the two sleeves, one on either side, which connect to the rear boxes, and also underneath, if you look under here, we've got them two bolts there to remove, and there's a third one just up in that top section there. That's replicated on the other side now. They're 8mm bolts, so it's a 13mm socket setting spanner you're going to require, and also 8mm bolts on there. Now these bolts are in good condition, like I say, they're only a couple of weeks old since I did my GUNDO modification. So you might encounter some difficulties here. If they do look corroded, I would recommend getting some spray, some releasing fluid on there and let it have a good soak for a couple of hours at least. Maybe give it a spray every half an hour or so, and just take your time. You may or may not have to cut them off with a grinder. You certainly won't be able to use a hacksaw underneath here. So before you undertake this task, you just got to be aware that sometimes it isn't straightforward, and it certainly won't look in this condition. But what we'll do is, seeing as though I'm in this position, I'll just quickly remove these bolts here, and then we just need to release these clamps and we can go from there. I've managed to get the two clamps, one on either side, released, and the 3 bolts underneath on either side released. But as you can see here, these ones were very stubborn indeed. So I've actually had to cut through either clamp with a 4.5-inch angle grinder and a cutting disc. Quickly went through. That's allowed me to release the last 2 remaining clamps here, which actually hold in the centre silencer in position. So with a little bit of care and attention, and more than likely a little bit of brute force, this should hopefully release, and we'll get it on the ground and we'll be able to compare the two. So there we are. It's came out quite easily. It was kind of just a pull towards you. The 2 side flanges came away, and it just came to the ground. Just be cautious to take the weight of it. You don't want it falling off. You'll kind of see on the side of the car that the rear silencers, they're held on with the supporting brackets, so you've just got to be gentle with them. There we go. So that's what it looks like underneath. That's the old supporting bracket for the old silencer. In the corner over there you can see the triangular flange for the catalyst. So we're going to offer this up here. As I said, this particular one I purchased, it comes with new gaskets and mounting bolts. I may not use them mounting bolts, it's my own personal preference. I might put some stainless steel ones in there, so but hopefully it should go back together relatively easily. It's just a case of reverse process. One suggestion would be that if you are going to reuse bolts or use U-bolts, regardless of the condition, you should always put a little bit of anti-seize on them, which will aid releasing them in the future. It's worthwhile just going to get some. I've got something called copper slip. There's various other stuff on the market, so I would recommend putting some of that on. So what we'll do is we'll do a reverse process of fitting this, and then at the end we'll have a sound clip and we'll be able to see what it goes like. So there we have it. We've got the centre silencer delete pipe fitted. I think overall it's taken about 1 hour to do the removal of the physical silencer and refit the X pipe. Like I say, the bolts that were supplied, I couldn't get them to fit, to be fair, so I reused my stainless steel bolts with some anti-seize compound fitted. That should really help release them in the future if I ever need to take it off. So we'll just go in and have a little closer look at what we've done there. You'll all know what the pipe looks like now, but there's them clamps there, and what I've done is I've rotated them clamps around so you can actually access them with the bumper on in future if you can get underneath the car. Previously, if you look at the start of the video, the bolts were up on the top end here, so make it really difficult, but they should be in a better position. So whether that's something you want to think about if you do this yourself. So like I say, it's just a reversal of what we've done originally to put it all back together. What I will show you is when I've been doing everything, I kind of like to keep it all laid out, how it all came off, so I know where all of the parts are, keep it all nice and neat. I know what goes where, so I shouldn't have any problems when I come to finish off. It should all go back together really quickly, so quickly get this fire back together and then we'll have a sound clip.